Hello, everyone. My name is Tila Monet Green, and this presentation focuses on teaching and learning best practices that can improve student achievement and positive student behavior at Bragg Middle School. So, through collaboration with colleagues, including some teachers and instructional support personnel, we identified 10 research based strategies that address challenges such as low academic achievement, learning gaps, student motivation, behavior concerns, and academic disparities among student groups. So these best practices are designed to promote meaningful change and support success for all students. So, as a team, the first best practice that we identified was data driven instruction, which we are very data heavy at Bragg Middle School. So, at our school, assessment data such as like iReady testing, those ACAP scores at the end of the year, and so forth, that data helps identify learning gaps and areas where students need additional support. So by regularly analyzing formative assessments, benchmark data on those iReady tests and classroom performance, teachers can make informed instructional decisions. So data-driven instruction allows teachers to adjust lessons, reteach concepts, and provide targeted interventions when needed. This practice helps ensure that instruction meets students' needs and increases academic achievement. Additionally, students benefit from receiving support before learning gaps become even larger obstacles, and then they're left back 2 grade levels behind. So we want to address those gaps before they become large obstacles. The second best practice we identified was small group instruction. So many students in our middle school performing below grade level and require targeted support. So we saw a lot with our M to M transfers, that's majority to minority. A lot of those students were entering several grade levels behind. So small group instruction allows teachers to provide focused lessons based on specific students' needs. So students receive individualized attention. They'll get immediate feedback on the things that they're working on and provide opportunities to practice skills in a more supportive environment rather than with the whole group. So this approach increases student engagement, improves mastery of standards, and builds confidence among struggling learners. The third best practice we identified was differentiated instruction, which hopefully this is going on in every classroom every day. So we know that our students learn in different ways and at different rates. So effective teachers are providing multiple pathways for entry into the lesson, learning by incorporating visual, auditory, and hands-on activities depending on the learning style of each student in the room. So differentiation ensures that all students can access rigorous content while receiving the support that they need. So by adjusting instruction based on readiness levels, interests, and learning styles, teachers create equitable opportunities for success and improve overall student achievement instead of treating each student like they're all one child. We're just making instruction accessible for all kids in all levels. The fourth best practice is high dosage tutoring and intervention. So again, we do a lot of data deep dives, and based on data, we group kids in intervention blocks. So we have that embedded within our school day at Bragg. So students who are significantly behind academically often require additional instructional time beyond the regular classroom setting. So targeted intervention periods and tutoring opportunities provide students with intensive support focused on priority skills. So research shows that high dosage tutoring can accelerate learning and help students close achievement gaps. This strategy also helps students to develop confidence and perseverance when facing academic challenges. We next identified positive behavioral interventions and supports, which is also known as PBIS, as a best practice. We were heavy on PBIS this year. Kids were always like, hey, can I get a positive referral, Bloom referral, so I can go to the event? So PBIS really promotes a positive school climate because it establishes clear expectations by teaching appropriate behaviors and recognizing students for meeting those expectations. So when students understand behavioral expectations and receive positive reinforcement for them, disciplinary issues tend to decrease and instructional time increases as you're not dealing with all those distractions. So a positive learning environment contributes to both academic and social success. The sixth best practice we identified was student goal setting and progress monitoring. So students become more motivated when they actively participate in their learning journey. By setting academic goals and tracking their progress, students develop ownership and accountability. So in math, we use what's called proficiency scale. So you'll start at a level 0, and you'll work your way up to level 4, which is proficient. Level 3 is also proficient, but 4 is like exceeding. So there's just like certain learning targets that fall under each level. And once you've mastered that learning target, you know that you're at least a level 1, a level 2, just being able to reflect on your learning throughout the unit. So by setting academic goals and tracking their progress, students develop ownership and accountability. Teachers can support this process through regular conferences, reflection activities, and data tracking tools. So as students see evidence of growth, motivation, and achievement often increase. The seventh best practice we identified was collaborative professional learning communities, or PLCs. So PLCs, we're heavy on PLCs as well. Our grade level and content level meetings, we try to meet most days during our planning just to discuss instructional strategies, challenges in the lesson that day, the challenges that we foresee on future lessons, and try to develop solutions together. So it's always best when you're not working in isolation and you have another educator to bounce ideas off of and think of things that you otherwise wouldn't. So collaboration strengthens instructional practices and creates consistency across classrooms. Through PLCs, educators collectively focus on improving student outcomes and supporting school improvement goals. The eighth best practice is family and community engagement. So student success improves when schools, families, and communities work together. So effective communication, family involvement opportunities, and community partnerships help to create a strong support system for students. Engaged families are more likely to support attendance, homework completion, and positive behaviors, which all contribute to a higher academic achievement. We also identified culturally responsive teaching. Again, with all of the M2M transfers we received, it's important that all students see themselves in their learning. So students are more engaged when they see their experiences, cultures, and backgrounds reflected in the learning environment. Culturally responsive teaching promotes inclusivity, respect, and relevance within instruction. So this approach helps build positive relationships, include increasing engagement, and supports equitable outcomes for all student groups. And our final best practice, which again hopefully is the end goal in all this, to have a student-centered classroom. So student-centered classrooms emphasize active participation, where kids are active participants in their learning and they're not just passively learning and taking notes and memorizing information. They are collaborating, problem solving, and using their critical thinking skills. So rather than serving as passive recipients of information, students take an active role in the learning process. This approach increases engagement, develops higher order thinking skills, and prepares students for future success both inside and outside the classroom. This project was completed through collaboration with colleagues at Bragg Middle School, including our assistant principal, instructional coach, and grade level teachers. So I tried to get a teacher from each grade level and each content area. I did not get a history teacher to help out, but I covered each of the other 4 core classes, and I also got an ex-ed teacher to assist us with this process. So together we all examined school data, discussed instructional challenges, and tried to identify research-based practices that would help improve student learning and behavior within our building. So the collaborative process allowed us to combine our expertise and develop shared solutions for addressing the needs that we were all seeing within our building. Thank you for your time and attention. So the references listed on the slide include the research and professional resources that inform the development of these best practices. Through collaboration and the implementation of research-based strategies, schools can create meaningful change that supports both academic achievement and positive student outcomes. Thank you for listening.